When we talk about creating order in our lives, the very first step is to stop pointing fingers outward and start looking inward. Too often, people waste precious energy blaming circumstances, upbringing, or even luck for where they are. But the truth is, as long as you hand responsibility to something outside yourself, you also hand away your power to change. Radical responsibility doesn't mean you cause everything that happened to you, but it does mean you claim the authority to decide what you'll do about it. The moment you accept that your choices, past, present, and future, shape your destiny, you begin to see possibilities where before you only saw excuses. Responsibility is not a burden, it is a privilege. It's the key that opens the door to transformation, because when you realize you are the author of your own story, you can begin rewriting it with intention. Every great achievement starts with this decision to own one's life completely. Without it, order is impossible because order requires clarity, and clarity requires ownership. If you want change, if you want discipline, if you want freedom, it begins here, with you. Chaos has a way of creeping into our lives quietly, until one day it feels like it's running the show. It shows up in the pile of unfinished tasks, in the clutter that fills your space, in the mental noise that leaves you restless and unfocused. The truth is, chaos thrives wherever order is neglected, and the longer you allow it, the more it feeds procrastination, confusion, and self-doubt. But here's the good news. Chaos isn't permanent, it's a condition you can change. By taking small, deliberate steps each day to create order, you begin to reclaim control. Clear your space, simplify your commitments, and decide what deserves your attention. These small acts are not insignificant. They are declarations that you are no longer willing to live passively. When you break the cycle of chaos, you give yourself room to breathe, to think, and to act with purpose. You begin to see opportunities that were once buried under disorder. And as clarity grows, so does your strength to push further. Every step you take toward order is a step away from stagnation and toward possibility. One of the greatest mistakes people make when trying to bring order into their lives is chasing everything at once. They confuse being busy with being purposeful, and in that confusion, they exhaust themselves without ever moving closer to fulfillment. Ordering your life is not about trying to perfect every detail. It's about aligning your actions with what truly matters to you. The moment you become clear on your values, on the principles you want to live by, decisions become less complicated. You no longer waste energy on things that don't serve your vision because you know where your focus belongs. Ask yourself, what are the few things that, if honored daily, would make you proud of the life you are building? That clarity becomes your compass, guiding you through distractions and temptations. And when you start living in alignment with what matters most, you begin to feel a deeper sense of peace because your energy is no longer scattered, it is directed. Purpose gives structure, and structure gives freedom. To order your life, you must first define what is worth building it around. Many people rely on motivation alone to keep their lives in order, but motivation is fleeting. It rises and falls with your mood, your circumstances, and even the weather. What you need instead are systems, structures that hold you steady when motivation fades. Think of a system as the scaffolding that supports a building while it grows taller. Habits are important, yes, but habits without a framework often collapse under pressure. When you create systems, clear routines, consistent boundaries, reliable practices, you protect yourself from falling back into chaos. A morning ritual that sets your mind in focus, an organized schedule that eliminates wasted time, a simple plan for how you'll handle setbacks. These are not restrictions, they are safeguards for your progress. Systems don't take away freedom, they multiply it because they free your mind from constant decision-making and preserve your energy for what truly matters. When life tests you, and it will, it is not inspiration that keeps you moving forward. It is the structure you've built around your discipline. If you want lasting order in your life, don't just chase habits. Design systems that make success inevitable. The moment you decide to change, you will meet resistance, not only from the world around you, but from within yourself. Comfort will call you back, whispering that it is easier to stay the same. But growth never lives in comfort. It is born in the discomfort of stretching beyond what you know, in the discipline of choosing what is difficult today, so tomorrow can be greater. Think about it, every skill, every strength, every success you admire was built through discomfort. The athlete pushing through exhaustion, the entrepreneur facing rejection after rejection, the individual choosing discipline over indulgence, all of them leaned into the pain of growth rather than running from it. If you avoid discomfort, you also avoid transformation. But when you embrace it, you discover resilience, endurance, and a new confidence in your own strength. Discomfort is not your enemy, it is your teacher, sharpening your character and preparing you for more. If you can learn to welcome it, Rather than fear it, you will find that what once felt unbearable becomes the very fuel that propels you forward. Growth begins where comfort ends. Motivation is a wonderful spark, but it is unreliable. Some days you wake up feeling driven, and other days you don't want to move at all. If your life depends only on motivation, then your progress will always rise and fall like the tide. Discipline, however, is different. Discipline is the steady force that carries you through when excitement fades, when energy is low, and when distractions are loud. It is the quiet decision to act, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Think of the person who trains every morning, not because they always feel inspired, but because they made a commitment to themselves. That consistency builds strength, confidence, and results that motivation alone could never sustain. Discipline is what transforms intentions into reality. It bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And the more you practice it, the more you trust yourself, because you know you will follow through even when it's hard. Order in life doesn't come from bursts of inspiration. It comes from daily acts of discipline. When you live by discipline, you no longer wait for the right mood. You create the right life.